pictograms. So a pictogram can also be called a pictograph, and it's basically just a way of representing data using pictures or symbols in a graph. A pictogram must always have a key to show the quantity that each symbol represents. And when drawing the symbols, it's really important to make sure that each symbol is the same size, that they're equally spaced out, and that when you draw the symbols, you line them up one underneath each other. We've got to be able to draw pictograms and also read and interpret pictograms. So in this first example, we've got a pictogram showing cars, and the question says, Julie counted the number of cars passing a house in 30 minutes. She made a note of the colour of each car, and the pictogram shows her results. So the important thing is that there is a key, and the key is the symbol of a car, and each car that's drawn stands for 10 cars. So if we looked at the pictogram, it shows us all the various colours that Julie saw, and she's recorded them then as cars. So question A, how many silver cars passed the house? So we look to the silver cars, and we count that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars. Each symbol of a car is worth 10 cars, so 10 fives are 50. 50 cars passed a house. How many blue cars passed the house? Well, we've got 3 symbols of cars, each stands for 10. Now, sometimes it's a good idea to actually write down the number above the symbol, especially if one of the symbols isn't a full symbol. Now, here we've got half of a car. So if a full car is worth 10, half a car is worth 5. So in total, for blue cars, we've got 10, 20, 35, 35 blue cars which pass the house. In this second example, Andrew draws the pictogram given below, which shows the number of pupils absent from school for each day in 1 week. Now, you can see again there's another key, and this time it's circles. Each pictogram question might have a different symbol representing various items. It doesn't matter what the picture or the symbol is, as long as each symbol that's drawn is the same size, they're all equally spaced out, as you see in the diagram here, and that they're lined up one beneath the other. So if you have to draw, for example, half a circle, like on Tuesday, it's really important that the half a circle is half of the original size. So you try to keep each symbol the same size. So, if each symbol represents 12 pupils, for question A, how many pupils does half of that symbol represent? Well, half of 12 is 6. How many pupils were absent on Wednesday? So again, each symbol is worth 12, but this is 3/4 of a symbol. Well, half of a symbol would be 6, half of 6 would be 3, so altogether this 3/4 symbol is 9. And altogether we've got 12, and 12 is 24, and 9 is 33 pupils absent on Wednesday. It's always important to read the question because part C says find the total number of absences, but it's only for Thursday and Friday. So again, repeat the process. 12, 12, 12. This time we've got 1/4 of 12, which is 3. And 12, 12, 12, and 12 for Friday. So here we've got 2 marks, and we've got some lines to do our workings. So there's a couple of different ways you can do this. You can either write what each symbol represents on the diagram above, or you can also write them in the space below, or you could just count up the number of symbols that are for 12, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've got 7 lots of 12, and we've got that extra 3. Well, 12 sevens are 84, and 3 is 87. 87 absences in total on Thursday and Friday. Example 3. The manager of a shop records the number of customers coming into the shop on each day for a week. And here are the results. So this time we've got a rhombus or a diamond shape, and each diamond represents 40 customers. Now, again here, slightly different symbol. There's triangles and different shapes represented, but again, as long as all the symbols are the same size, they're lined up vertically underneath each other, and they're equally spaced out. So how many customers does this triangle represent? Well, if we look at the symbol itself at the top here, we can see that a triangle is a quarter of the whole symbol. So one triangle will be a quarter of 40, which is 10 customers. How many customers came to the shop on Wednesday? So we have 40, 40, 40, and 3/4 of 40, which is 30. So altogether, we've got 120 and that 30 on the last symbol, which is 150. Finally, find the total number of customers who came to the shop on Saturday and Sunday. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lots of 40. Plus we have a half of 40, which is 20. And we have a quarter of 40, which we found out earlier was 10. So in total, we've got 9 lots of 40, which is 360, and the 20 and 10, which is 30, altogether 390 customers. Example 4, this time we're given a pictogram and we've got to work backwards. They show us that there are 6 different flavours sold by a shop on a certain day, 6 different flavours of crisps. But the thing that's missing here is that there's no key. And as we said at the beginning, a pictogram must have a key. So, if we set up a key here, and see, can we find some information? Well, if we look at the bottom, the shopkeeper sold 48 packets of cheese and onion crisps. Underline that because it's important information. Cheese and onion crisps, 48 packets were sold. Well, if we've got 4 packets of crisps as symbols, and we know that stands for 48 packets altogether, that must mean that 1 packet is 48 divided by 4, stand for 12. So 1 symbol of crisps must stand for 12 packets of crisps. Now, this is an open-ended question because it doesn't actually ask us what the symbol or the key stands for. It just asks us, can you find out how many packets of plain shrimp and bovril? And it's worth 3 marks. But you do need to do this little bit of working first of all to be able to work out what the other flavours are. So we know that 1 symbol stands for 12. If we have a look at plain, plain have got 2 symbols. So plain are 2 lots of 12, which is 24 packets. Shrimp are 3 packets or 3 symbols, which is 3 lots of 12, which is 36. And bovril is 1 packet, 1 symbol, which is just 12. And that's your 3 marks. Just make sure that you show your workings clearly. Now, example 5, you have to draw your pictogram rather than interpret and read it. So here we've got data from a comprehensive school for examinations, and each symbol represents 40 pupils. So you're told that maths is 200, and it's been shown here by 5 symbols of this square block. Well, if each block is worth 40, 40 times 5 is 200, which is what the question's asking. So for 4 marks, you've just got to now represent each of these here. So 200, so what's important now is that you do, as best you can, copy the symbol, spacing it out, lining it up underneath, so that when you draw your pictogram, you've got a clear label diagram. So that's 200, but English is 220, so we need an extra 20. Well, if one symbol is 40, the extra 20 will be half a symbol. And as I said earlier, make sure that your half symbol is exactly half of the full symbol for scale. Welsh is 160, so that'll be 4 of those. So 40, 80, 120, and 160. IT is 70. So we've got 40, and then we need another 30. So that's going to be 3/4 of a symbol. Now it doesn't actually matter how you draw your 3/4. It can be in any orientation, any position, as long as you've got 3 blocks showing out of the 4. And finally, French is 110. So we've got 40, 80, and we need another 30, so again, another 3 blocks. And there's your pictograms. The key is already shown in the diagram. If that key wasn't there, you had to create your own key, you would need to draw that in as well to get your full marks. Finally, example 6. This is an example of where you have to both draw part of the pictogram in and also read and interpret the pictogram and answer some questions. The following pictogram shows the number of pupils in the school for each day of 1 week in December, and heavy snow means that some children can't attend. This time we've got a key representing 20. So the first question, nice and easy, if the full symbol represents 20, what do just 2 blocks of the 4 represent? And that's going to be half a block, which is going to be 10. 10 pupils. How many pupils attended on Wednesday? So as I said earlier, you can actually write on the diagram there to show what each symbol represents. And then this last one is 3/4 of 20. Well, 1/4 will be 5, so 3/4 will be 5, 10, 15. So altogether on Wednesday we have 20, 40, 60 and 15 is 75 pupils. Part C says 65 pupils attended school on Friday. Complete the pictogram for Friday. So now they'd like us to draw the diagram on. So 65, well, 20, 1 block, 40, 2 blocks, 60, 3 blocks, and 1 small little block to make the 5 for the 65. Okay, question D, find the total attendance for the week. So we have 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 pupils, 20, 40, 60, 80, and half of 20 is 10, so that's 90 altogether. Wednesday, we've already worked out, is 75. Thursday, 20, 40, 60, 80. And finally Friday, we've worked out, is 65. So to find the total attendance, we simply add up all these values. You can do it in a tower sum, or if it's a calculator paper, just type them in your calculator, but make sure you show all your values being added up to get your first part of the question, and 410 is your final answer for the total attendance for the week.